Vaughn, we're going to get a couple things in there, but hold that thought because I think it's going to apply to dispel the notion that an electoral college victory is slipping from Donald Trump's reach. His campaign distributed this battleground map yesterday. It designates Michigan, Wisconsin, and Virginia as toss-ups.
They're all gone.
As well as Colorado, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire.
Okay, so Colorado, let's just go really quickly with these. Colorado is, if you talk to the campaign, this is the state that baffles them the most.
Right.
Because the internal polls actually show, for some reason, them closer. Now, external polls are showing actually Clinton up comfortably, but I actually saw a poll last night from an independent pollster that had it much closer than we'd expect.
And they have Arizona, Utah, and Georgia as locked in for Trump. On MSNBC yesterday, campaign manager Kellyanne Conway said there are hidden clues to detecting their path to 270.
When you look at the electoral map, watch and see where we deploy our major assets. Governor Pence, Mr. Trump, our paid media campaign, other opportunities we have, our super surrogates going out there and keeping their own schedule soon. That's our roadmap. I share it privately here. Whatever you see that's shared publicly may be a little bit different for lots of reasons. But we have a couple of different paths to get to 270. We're actively pursuing them.
Well, Rick, the fact is that they don't have a lot of different paths. They have one path, and that is they've got to win absolutely everything that's a toss-up right now, and they're still at 266, according to the AP. They still have to win New Hampshire, which is going to be a stretch. Other approaches suggest they have to win New Hampshire and Maine, too. And, you know, they're saying Georgia's a lock, Georgia's not a lock. They're saying Arizona's a lock, Arizona's not a lock. I mean, the fact is that if this race is really a 5-point race, Trump needs to spend the next 2 weeks picking up another 3 or 4 points just to make those swing states close enough for him to put over in his column. Yeah, nationally for sure. But look at it another way. All Clinton has to do is pick up any swing state, Nevada, Iowa, Arizona, North Carolina, yeah, any Florida, one of them, any one, and it's over. One, and it's over. And so there's about 150, Joe, electoral votes that are considered tossed up. 65 of those are in Georgia, Texas, and Arizona. That's 65, those three combined. And those are all states Donald Trump should be winning handily. He's not. He has to pick up about 112 out of the 150 toss-up delegates. She needs to pick up 8. So it's really it's very difficult to see how Donald Trump could possibly pull this off. With 2 weeks to go, I don't know. Healthcare might be a big issue, but with 2 weeks to go, it seems very unlikely he can close that gap. It's one of those things that can break either way. It can either break the last weekend Trump's way, and we have a closer race.
And that's a big break.
Here's the other thing: it's just not as big of a break as the media wants people to think.
Really?
It's just not as big of a break. If you've got a 5-point, again, I was here at the beginning of September, and I asked everybody if they thought the race was over. He goes, "Oh yeah, everybody said the race is over. The race is over. The race is over." Like a week later, Trump was. Like it was a draw in Colorado. Then everybody started freaking out and jumping out of windows because it looked like Trump could win. And then he shot himself, not in the foot, but in every extremity. I mean, he is the undiscipline gets worse. It has not gotten better. No. His own campaign people
the more he's
are fighting him.
I think it gets worse, right? The worse he's feeling about the polls, whatever he's saying at those rallies, the less disciplined he's able to be.
Right. So all I am saying, and I can't believe that this is novel because I will get killed on Twitter today for just admitting what is the reality is. You've got 2 weeks. You've got a tumultuous electorate. You've got people who loathe Hillary Clinton. They're scared of Donald Trump.
And you've got a guy who's literally broken through every expectation. I mean, exceeded.
And is running the most undisciplined campaign in the history of American politics. So much so that Kellyanne Conway seems to be debating her own presidential candidate.
And the vice presidential candidate.
And the vice presidential candidate's debating. And everybody around him's debating him. He was supposed to go to Gettysburg, and this was going to be his break in Gettysburg.
Moment, yes.
This was going to be his moment where he was going to pivot to issues in Gettysburg, standing on that hallowed ground, and he was talking about suing women for sexual harassment.
Well,
this is a guy.
The first 100 days.
Yeah, the first 100 days.
Priority.
So he's within 5 points. What I was going to say is, it either breaks his way. Let's say it's at 5 now. It breaks his way 3 or 4 points over the next 2 weeks, which wouldn't be unheard of. And we've got a closer race. Or, probably more likely, given his lack of discipline, Willie, it breaks the other way. And suddenly people are going, we're going to be following Texas late into the night. It's really all up to him. But he's not listening to anybody. So it could be one of those things where we're seeing whether Texas goes Democratic for the first time since, I guess, '64.
I think the two X factors are the Obamacare premium story. That's real to a lot of people in the country if he pushes that button. And WikiLeaks. There are 2 weeks left. We don't know what's going to come out. Is there stuff in there that makes people who are considering voting for Hillary, even though they didn't like her, stay home? Maybe not even vote for Trump, but stay home. Consider where they are today, though. Mike Pence is in Utah. 2 weeks ahead of Election Day, the Republican vice presidential candidate is in Utah defending that ground because a third-party candidate, Evan McMullin, may win. Donald Trump's setting up shop in Florida with a quick break to cut a ribbon in the all-important swing district of Washington, D.C. at his new hotel.
I would add a third element to your list, and it's the get-out-the-vote operation of both campaigns. My understanding is the Trump campaign's get-out-the-vote operation doesn't exist. The Clinton operations is fast, mobile, huge, in place now for months in each and every
And to some extent, you're seeing that reflected in the early voting, with these early voting numbers coming out of North Carolina, where we're getting a preponderance of Democrats voting compared to Republicans. I mean, that might be an indication of the African-American vote, right? We're hearing stories about how the African-American vote, you're right, Joe, is not excited and needs more attention from the Clinton campaign. And now you've got congressmen from the caucus asking for more resources for the down-ballot candidates. But look, if you're seeing high numbers of Democrats voting early in North Carolina, that's some indication of the way that state's going to go.
So he pushed the Obamacare button. Let's end this block with the bad headlines.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.